the 832. Biggest surprise, Adolis Garcia.
How could it not be?
I would listen. I just want to say this. Totally hear what you're saying. I would listen to Kyle Gibson. Like, Kyle Gibson has always been like, he's solid. But if you told me he was going to turn into one of the Cy Young front runners, I would be like, that's preposterous. But Adolis Garcia makes all the sense in the world.
Okay, so he would get comeback player of the year, Kyle Gibson, for me. But because, like...
From not being that great to being awesome.
Never having a great career, but being a pitcher that, like, he's listening to whatever... And Jared's very accurate on that. Whatever they're telling him to do, he's doing it. He's made the adjustments, and he's having a great season because of it. Adolis Garcia, we didn't even know his name before. I guess I brought him up in training camp, but really we didn't know who he was before this season.
I go back to what my son said last week when we were at Paul's card shop. Is he saw an Adolis Garcia rookie card, and it was the St. Louis Cardinals. And he goes, oh, did we trade for him? And I just kind of chuckled. And I was like, nope, we gave up nothing to get him.
Grabbed him off the waiver wire. Like, that's what it feels like, is we got a good pickup, you know?
So another follow-up, biggest surprise, Garcia. Biggest bust, Solak. And that is exactly how it plays out for the Athletic. For Solak, the Rangers were so convinced that Solak was the answer at second base, they traded Rougned Odor. They also traded Rougned Odor because he sucks at playing baseball. But Solak isn't rewarding their confidence, hitting .229 with an on-base percentage under 300. Also, he's been caught stealing 3 times in 7 attempts. I think, and it's not fair, I definitely get why Solak is the biggest disappointment for a lot of people. For me, and it goes right here from the 817, Willie Calhoun can't catch a break. I think that's my biggest disappointment. I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's his fault, because I understand he got hurt, but it kind of feels like we're to the end of the Willie Calhoun project, or approaching it, just because
through no fault of his own also. Like, I don't think that he's done anything wrong here.
No, I totally agree with that, but we're looking at it to the point where now he's getting closer to having to cost you more money, and he's been playing here in different parts of 5 seasons. This is his 5th season on the Rangers, and he has literally still done nothing. And part of that is because of injuries. Part of that is because when he's got opportunities, he hasn't been as effective as we might have hoped. And I was really hoping, I think we were all really hoping, that this was going to be his breakout. He looked more confident at the plate. He was getting his numbers up, and then he got hurt. And it's just unfortunate because we're 5 years in, and he's going to be 27 after this season is over. And you start to wonder, like, is he a piece in the future?
I don't think so. And Kevin,
sucks because he's really nice.
The one thing that I will say is that the Rangers' recommitment to their farm system, and I'm not saying their farm system is good, but they have recommitted to restocking it. And that they unloaded it, man. They were chasing it. John Daniels was chasing ghosts. He was chasing the ghost of the World Series that they lost.
Yeah.
And so he was like, whatever it is, I got to trade it away. And you can go back and look at what they traded away and say, well, those guys never turned out. That's fine. Like Mike Olt, did he ever turn into anything? No. A lot of those guys did not. But they have restocked it. And when you restock your farm system, it does a couple things. You can go pluck from your farm system the players that you want to call up and see if they are going to be part of your core, or you can trade them. And that's where, like, now when you're looking at short stack in poker, the Rangers had short stack for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And so when they took on Willie Calhoun for Yu Darvish, it was like, oh, you just traded for Willie Calhoun.
And that was probably unfair.
And we all were like, well, I mean, the dude has a great hit stick, but that's all we know about it right now. And then we looked around the rest of their farm system, and what did we say? We got a lot of dudes that don't have a position.
Yeah.
That are left-handed hitters that might be good hitters. That's all we could say about our farm system at the time. Now it looks like it's starting to flourish a little bit. Again, I'm not saying it's a top 10, but it's more populated than it ever has been, or that it has been in the last 4 years, and that gives Chris Young, not CY, the ability to make make better deals in the future. So that's what I'm hoping. I understand your disappointment with Willie. I will always wish the best for that man because he is a super kind, awesome dude.
A couple of years ago in spring training, when we talked about expectations for the season, we talked with Willie Calhoun, and one of the things we said was, "Hey man, just wanted to let you know everybody is rooting for you." And he athletes get asked so many questions, they can just blow them all off. He stopped and he looked at us and he's like, "Are they really?" And we're like, "Yeah, man, people are rooting for you." And you could tell, like, he legitimately cared. And that's why I legitimately want him to be awesome. And it just hasn't worked out. And again, not through his own devices, because he's got some really crap breaks along the way. All right. Fair. This is fair right here from the 817. I said we literally gave up nothing to get Adolis Garcia. Hey, he was traded for cash considerations. All right, fair enough. We did not give up any other tangible assets, but we gave them like $15,000 for Adolis Garcia.
If you talk to John Daniels, cash considerations only mean anything to the guys above him.
Yeah.
Currency for JD is prospects. But from the 972, and this is, I think, Kevin, a big fear for lots of Rangers fans. Willie Calhoun is the main reason I'm scared to trade Joey. We will never get a decent return on what we have. And I don't think you're going to get the return you expect for Joey whenever you were hearing he's going to be a potential MVP.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're going to get something in return, or you can keep him and pay him. Like that's what you have to decide. How much does he mean to your clubhouse? How much can he produce? Can he be the player that he's been for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the Rangers season? Will he ever be, when he gets to that big stage, will he be able to live up to it? So that's what it is whenever you're a Texas Rangers fan, is always being afraid of losing the big fish.